Today we're going to be making a wild mushroom risotto. Finely hashed onion, and you're going to cook that down on a medium heat because you must not brown these onions. Now we're turning those onions translucent. We're not browning them in any way. They're cooking very gently and they look and smell amazing. We're going to add in, our arborio rice. You kind of toast off your arborio and then you add your water gradually. You don't want to flood it with water. You want it to take in moisture. But obviously you want to very gently sort of add your liquids and your stock. With your risotto, you've let it toast off without obviously burning it when I say toast. But you've let it cook off in your oil just that little bit for about 2-3 minutes before you add in anything else. So we're going to add in some white wine. And we're going to let that wine cook down. Don't ever add too much liquid to a risotto, very important. Now there's no reason to laugh, to be honest, about making risotto because quite naturally a lot of chefs, in fact a lot of people that aren't even chefs, that try and make risotto really struggle with making risotto perfect because it is a talent and it is quite easy to do it wrong. It is quite easy to have rice that's not cooked all the way through the way it should be and tastes quite gritty. It is quite possible to just completely fail at it. It is possible to burn your rice and it is possible to burn your onions. It's a patience thing. And it's a practice thing. Most importantly, if you're going to use powdered chicken stock, this is a risotto and you can't add too much salt to something so delicate and sweet. So maybe go in with half a chicken stock cube and not a whole one, because you don't want to overpower this with the delicacy of all those other mushrooms that I'm about to add in. Or you can use fresh chicken stock like I made last week. But of course, I've used it all now because it's so versatile. And fresh chicken stock, you'll literally want to use in everything. Worst thing you can do when you make a risotto, it sticks to the pan. So damn easy. Never abandon a risotto. Worst thing you can do because you will spend hours scrubbing it and scraping it off the bottom of that pan. And when I used to work in a massive busy restaurant, I still work in a relatively busy restaurant where everything was made from fresh. My daily life as a kitchen porter before I moved up to food was scrubbing all that burnt on crap off the bottom of the pan, and believe me, it's the worst part of the day. There's no liquid. It's not runny in any way. That's a perfect body of risotto to start cooking your mushrooms and adding them into. We're going to be starting to talk serious about the mushrooms themselves. Most importantly, whatever you add in, you don't want to add anything too strong when you've got delicate mushrooms. So you want to go for some gnocchis. If you can afford chanterelles, get some chanterelles. Get some oyster. They're all quite mild. Now, your chestnut is relatively strong in flavour, so again, you don't want far too many of them, and so is your shiitake. So if you're going to put a shiitake or two in there, don't really chop up much more than 3 average size mushrooms, nothing massive. And, to be honest, to really get maximum flavour out of your chanterelles, which are the most expensive, you're going to put absolutely nothing in the pan, not even oil. You've got your pan on a medium heat, let's say 5. And you're just going to let the water in those mushrooms evaporate. Now, toasting off chanterelles, like toasting off anything, it's a bit of patience. Take your time with this. You can't go wrong. If your heat's not up too high, gentle heat, your patience is going to pay off when you start throwing in the rest of the mushrooms. To be honest, you can add in your oyster mushrooms and probably do exactly the same thing. Try and take as much water out of those mushrooms as you can so they don't come across boiled. Everything deserves a season. Just a little bit, no overkill. Here comes the fun part. We've toasted our mushrooms. We put absolutely nothing in this pan. So they're all toasted off. We can add our other mushrooms. And the one thing that mushrooms deserve more than anything else in the world is a good bit of butter. Oh my God. Before we even add our garlic and our wine, just look at the results in that pan. Just a little bit of white wine. Give that some body. And look at the colours in that pan. That is one vibrant pan, that. Yeah, this meal has cost you £10 at least, but my God, was it worth it? That's an hour's pay. If that's all it takes to make good food, do it. You go to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Why do you not want to treat yourself to damn good food? I'm being cheeky here. Add in maybe just a few spring onions, just rice. Don't overkill, because it is risotto. Tiny bit chilli. The best time of the day has come, because this is when we serve. What I do a good serve on these. Risotto in first. Mushrooms on top of the risotto. And if that doesn't already look absolutely stunning in that bowl, finish off with a slight touch of Parmesan cheese. Feel free to subscribe.